Since the 60s, the dream of being a rock star has always occupied the minds of young men who gather in the sheds, garages, and basements of America. The desire of joining with a group of friends to create a sound that is indefinitely your voice. An artwork that can be enjoyed by the masses, particularly young women, has a definitive mystique about it that is woven into the folklore of the modern age. Heeter's a local band that embodies this idea. I was fortunate to get to sit down with the lead singer Dillan and the guitarist Dax and talk about their voice and its formation. I hope you'll join me as we go and meet Dax and Dillan from Heeter. Dillan and Dax from Heeter.
Hello.
Dillan is no longer on his phone, and we are redoing the intro. Heeter's a local band, and so I think it's probably best if they describe what it is.
We're a 5-piece from East Texas, and I like to classify our music as new gaze, just because we blend big melodic chords, like a full measure of one chord and Dylan screaming his heart out, and heavier breakdowns as well. There's a nice split in every song, so I don't know how to classify it as heavy. I don't know how to classify it as soft, so we say new gaze because it fits.
Yeah.
New gaze is really the best way we could put it, or experimental metal, either one.
Yeah. So, like, what would be some other bands for reference for people who aren't in music, like what that would be?
I mean, the new start of I guess new gaze. It's like there's softer bands like Glare, Loathe, that also get really heavy. Title Fight, stuff like that. But we're really influenced by older bands from the 90s and 2000s, like Deftones, System of a Down, stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I guess let's go back to the forming of the band. Like, how did y'all come together?
It just kind of happened over time. Me and Tanner, we started off as the Dons, and I told him, we don't want to be called the Dons. The Dons means girls. Dons are girls. And so we switched it up, changed it to Squash.
And that was whenever I hopped in.
Yep.
Because Tanner and Dylan, Tanner's our bassist. He's not here right now. He's off at school right now. But
that's pretty lame.
They've known each other for
about 13 years, 12, 13 years now.
So they went to karate class together.
Yeah,
So.
I met him before he even started going to actual school.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. But yeah.
So they've known each other, and when I heard that they were doing a little music project, I'd already been into music for a little while, and I was like, all right, I'll hang out. And I played football with Tanner, and I'd seen Dylan. Tanner and Dylan used to make these short videos. You can find them on YouTube, DCT Films.
I'll link them below.
Yeah, I'm also in one of them. Actually, one of the films that we shot was the first time me and Dylan met.
Yep.
So there's that on camera. It's like lost media if you ever find it.
DCT Films.
But yeah,
it's lost media. Go to this YouTube channel.
But we just started hanging out at first. Me, Dylan, and Tanner. Doing what we do.
Dax actually started on drums.
Yeah, I was back there, and Dylan was on the guitar, and Tanner was just at bass.
Yep.
And he was singing a little bit. And then Tanner was in this theater group with this dude named Noah, and he was a church drummer, so we brought him in because I was like, I could play the guitar. So we brought him in, and that's whenever, I think we were still Squash at the time. Whenever it was
Yeah, we were still Squash.
So it was still Squash, and we were just practicing as a band. Then, we had formed it in our minds that this is a band and this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So we started practicing it up a little bit, and I don't know who. It's a big debate right now, but somebody came up with the name Heeter, and we switched to that, and we played our first show as Heeter in last June or July. And shortly after that, Noah, our old drummer, he went off to college. And so I put Tanner's bitch ass on drums. And he started playing, and it was fun. But that's really how we started up, is just being buddies and hanging out at Tanner's house and doing what we do. And then as soon as it was kind of like a universal thing between all of us. We were like, man, this is pretty cool, and people are excited about us. Yeah. So we just started to step it up a notch and practice a little harder.
We also had Jaeger too.
Yeah,
he was in
yeah.
our band for a little while. He was our bassist. After Tanner went and switched to drums, I was singing, Dax on guitar, Tanner on the drums, and then Jaeger, he came playing bass. He did about 3-4 shows with us.
Yeah, he did a couple, and then he went off to the Navy.
Yep.
Good guy. Hey, Jaeger.
Hi, Jaeger.
Yeah, we played. I think the last show we played with him was. It was gonna be
It was Bricks, wasn't
It
it?
was a pajama party.
the pajama party.
Was it?
Yeah, yeah, that was the last one we played. It was we played this Halloween show and it went great and it was an awesome time. So we went back to the same venue and played our last show with Jaeger, and then we were kind of just out of luck for a little while. I had scheduled this show at Rubber Gloves in Denton, and Jaeger was busy with the Navy, and it's like, man, I don't know what we're gonna do because we don't have our musicians right now. We're only 3 guys.
Yeah.
And so I work at a skate shop in Tyler, and so this dude came in, had long hair, kind of looked like Dave Grohl. So I went to him and I was like, "Yo, you look like Dave Grohl."
You must play music.
And he was like, "Yeah, I can play drums." I was like, "Oh, no way." So I took him up on it, and he came out, and
Mr. Benjamin.
yeah, Ben. Within a week of practice, he got the whole set. We played the show at Rubber Gloves, and he had mentioned his brother a lot. He talked a lot about his brother. He's like, "My brother plays the guitar, man. You got to hear him." So I was like, "All right, why not?" So
Brought in Vinny.
brought in Vinny. So the first full practice, we had 5 dudes, and that was a fucking curveball. It was hard. We've never done that before,
Yeah.
We've only been within ourselves, and maybe have one extra guy fill in every now and then. But it was weird having like a super group because these guys were actually pretty good at their instruments.
Yeah. Very talented dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we also had that one guy that came in for like one practice.
Yeah. I don't want to say his name, but this dude came in, and he was like, this was right after we played like a good show, so we were kind of like riding this high, and this guy's from another band.
Yep.
And he came in, he was like, "Man, you guys got to learn what you're doing." He's like, you guys gotta do this, you guys gotta do that. And I was like, I was trying to teach him the music and stuff, and it just didn't go well. And that was
What was it like on a technical side or just?
yeah,
like
it was like he was like, you guys got to learn your notes, like do this and
Your
do that.
chords, you gotta learn everything.
And like I was like, yeah, I get it, man. Like that is important stuff to know, but I know enough to tell you what's going on. And
We have a Heeter language.
yeah, we just
It is a Heater language.
a
We
big
do have our
thing
own
in
language.
practice, bro. We're just like, hey, whenever this happens, just feel it in your balls, and
Straight
then
up.
and then we'll be good.
So
we just
is
go
it
through
more
it.
like a just kind of y'all start jamming and then y'all go from there?
Trial and error. And
Yeah.
then we just, end up making it sound good at the end.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a fun process. I'd honestly rather do it that way than figure out exactly what chords we're going to want to use
Yeah.
for what songs. It's better to just feel it and just
Yeah.
go through it.
Yeah.
Way better.
So, I want to go back because there's like this legendary disputed origin of the name. So, what are the different disputed origins of the name Heeter?
Do you want to put out your part?
Yeah, I'll say what I got. I don't know who did it. I know I got key details. I don't have specifics. I know that I feel like it was in a group discussion context, either over text or during practice, and that's all I got. Really. Tanner was telling me it was just me and him, and he was like gaslighting me. I was like, he was like telling me, he's like, man, I did it, and he was like making up this story. I was like, okay, that sounds kind of familiar. It's like, I'll go with that.
And then I put in this detail that he remembered, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Wait, nope, he's right."
So we were back to ground one. Like,
Yep,
we don't know who did it, but Tanner thinks
I do.
Tanner is sold that he came up with it. I think that we all came up with it. I know I didn't say the word heater. It's somebody else, but we all agreed on it. And another thing is, whenever the name Heeter was brought up, in everybody's story, the first response to that is like, why Heeter? And so that, I'm sure that detail is there in whatever situation it's true in, but we all remember it differently.
So Dylan,
You want to hear my side?
Why Heeter?
In my head, I hope I'm not just going crazy, but I remember it almost vividly. We were in like the first or second Heeter group chat we've ever made with Noah, and we were all texting in messages. And I don't remember exactly how the conversation was going right before this, but I put out the name Heeter, and the first thing Tanner said was, "Why? Why Heeter?"
If it was in a group chat, where are the receipts?
Search them up. I don't know. I couldn't find them.
We've been looking, brother. We've tried to settle this dispute plenty.
It's
of times.
definitely in the messages, though. It definitely is. It's in the messages.
So, what is the meaning of Heeter?
It just is. There is no meaning. It's just what we are. We're Heeter.
Just Heeter. We wanted to grab a name that would maybe catch some attention, but it wasn't very popular. You know, other people didn't have this name.
Yeah.
I think the core behind it is heat for sure, because I think we're just like, oh, this is cool. This is heat. This is awesome. You know, it's like heat. You know,
Straight up.
so that's where I think it comes from. As far as its actual Heeter definition.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was putting out when I put out the name for this song.
All right,
for the
dude.
I was up,
Next topic.
I was up late in my study thinking, what is the meaning behind this now?
Just the feel of it. Just what it sounds like. That's how you're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
It's Heeter. That's what it is. It rolls off the tongue nice. It feels.
Yeah, I also wanted to have something that wasn't embarrassing to tell your friends, like when they ask what song you're listening to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah.
This is blank by Heeter. You know, that's easy to say. I mean, it was like, this is blank by Boston for 69. It'd be a lot different.
Try
The
being
creepy neighbor next door.
do y'all know King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like telling your friends, like, oh, you gotta listen to King Gizzard and the Lizard.
Benjamin, bro. He put me on. Our old drummer. Funny guy.
I'm getting cold. I'm gonna go grab a hoodie real quick. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
You
So
go
while you're off, I'll go ahead and start the question with Dylan. So, like, what is your personal, like, musical journey?
Honestly, personally, I grew up with my dad. He was born in 1960. Listening to literally everything classic, up to Korn, Seven Dust, all the new metal stuff, anything in between there. And when I got to like middle school, I'd say I developed my own music taste into rap because, when you're at school, you're going to hang out with peers that listen to that type of music and you want to fit in. And I listened to nothing but rap and like R&B for purely that, but for like 3-4 years. But as soon as I got like freshman year of high school, I just completely switched my music taste. I started listening to nothing but rock. I had like maybe 2 rap playlists in my playlist right now. 2 rap songs in my playlist, I mean.
So rap isn't really something that stuck around with you, or R&B or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I still like R&B, but I won't listen to like NBA YoungBoy no more. Like, I mean, I still like his music. It's not bad music, but it's just my taste. It just grew out of it.
Evolved from there?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like, would you say there's, like, anything from those other genres that you pull for y'all's music? Or is it mostly just the rock influence?
I mean, my vocals, I do a lot of vibrato. I listened to a lot of Rihanna growing up. That was, like, literally my idol for singing. I loved Rihanna. And, I don't know. I guess you could say that she's one of my inspirations for my singing voice. But for my screaming, it would definitely be Korn. I love my Korn screams and my Deftone screams.
Yeah. So, I'll switch it over to you. Like, what was your musical journey growing up?
The first band I ever dived into was Nirvana. Whenever I was like 8 or 9, my dad showed me, I think, In Bloom, something like that. And he had this little computer that he would work on, and whenever he was out of the house, I would get on his computer and play this game called Clicker Heroes.
Oh yeah.
And I would just listen to Nirvana the entire time. I would listen to Unplugged all the way through, and just various albums, just flipping through stuff like that. And I listened to Nirvana for a long time, for years. Like, that was the only thing I listened to. And then I wasn't interested in music for a little while. I had this ex-girlfriend, man, and she didn't enjoy me playing the guitar and stuff like that. It's just...
Yeah.
I kind of internalized it and was like, I need to get rid of this stuff. So I didn't think about music. I didn't really listen to music that much. I didn't play the guitar. But once I'd moved on with that chapter of my life, I picked it up again. It took a year to just dive into stuff I liked, like the guitar and different bands. And I started listening to the Deftones, Carnival, mostly Deftones. Keep it real. Stephen Carpenter's my number one guy. And I want to be just like him. I even play the same guitar he does. So that's one of my bigger influences. But I also had this buddy. He's like my idol. I was a freshman. He was a junior. So I was like, this is the old guy, and he knows cool stuff. And he was a jazz trumpeter. So he would send me some jazz classics to play. So that expanded my ideas for chords and different shapes. But adding heavy distortion to that stuff, it sounds really cool. It's a different vibe.
Jazz and metal have a lot in common. It's almost insane. They're very close together.
So like as far as like jazz influences, where is that for y'all?
I like Miles Davis, any Duke Ellington.
Oh yeah.
I really listened to a lot of Duke Ellington around that time, and Ella Fitzgerald. It's been a while, because all I listen to now is heavy music. I've been listening to a lot of hardcore lately. Except I have a bone to pick, man. A lot of hardcore right now. It's all noise, and something for me is big melody. Like I was talking about earlier, it's a full bar of some guy screaming his lungs out, holding the same chord. That's everything to me. So I've been listening to this band called Counterparts that they have super heavy breakdowns but big melodic choruses, and they talk about real shit. So that's been my influence lately. But as far as like the beginning of Heeter, whenever I was first writing my first couple of riffs, I don't think I had any influence. I was just listening to the sound my guitar makes and seeing where I could go from there. I'm sure there's some underlying stuff, because the more I grow in this band stuff, I understand my different influences and where they come into play.
And we definitely all influence each other too.
Yeah. Bouncing off of each other is a big part of what we do as well.
Yeah. We all have different music tastes, and so it's really good to have that diversity in there too. So
Ben and Vinny, they really love Tool and Hum.
Yes.
And Tanner really likes shoegaze, and I really like hardcore. And Dylan likes
metal.
Dylan likes the classic metal.
Straight up.
Are y'all talking like trying to think good like classic metal? Like y'all talking like Ronnie James Dio, like Rainbow, or is it like more like Thrasher era? Thrash era.
It's for me. It's like, I mean, one of my favorite bands of all time is Korn. I love Korn a lot, and I really like Seven Dust, but they're more nu metal. I'd say they're more like a reserved version of Korn almost. It's kind of weird, like they're conservative almost. I love Seven Dust though, and System of a Down.
Yeah. He listened to a lot of System of a Down. I'm surprised that wasn't his first. But yeah, like System of a Down, classically trained vocalist.
Yep.
Screaming his heart out.
They're all classically trained musicians.
It's wild.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just stuff like that. And I really like the ethnic feel that System of a Down brings. Just because
it's got that like Arab.
Yeah, I love seeing brown boys, incorporate their culture into whatever they can,
Yeah. No, for sure. Not sure where he went, but we'll just keep going. I guess I offended him. I'm sorry. You know how musicians are. So I guess like, what are kind of the origins of the band itself? Did it like start out like we're gonna come together and make a band? Was it just jamming?
Honestly, Tanner sent me the script for a show that he was writing, a little movie he wanted to put on. It was like a school competition thing. He had to record and edit this video and send it in and get a score. But he asked me to be in it, and he asked Dylan to be in it, and 4 other guys, and we went out to my buddies land, and I think we had all just initially talked about like, hey, we all play music, you know?
Yeah.
And Tanner and Dylan were hanging out, so Tanner just invited me over. And at the time, it was the Dons, and they had this guitarist that went to the same school as me and Tanner. And I heard him playing, and I was like, "Yo, no hate, but I think I can do a little something, you know. Let me see what I can do."
Yeah,
and so they sent me this track that they were working on. They'd pulled off this instrumental from YouTube, I think.
Yeah, we did.
And they were working on it. I was like, "Oh, this is actually pretty cool." So I kind of took the feel of what they were doing there. I tried to write a couple riffs for them and show them whenever I just went to hang out at Tanner's house, you know, while Dylan was there, and I went to show them, and eventually I brought my drum kit over. And I actually, before I started playing music, I was an athlete, and I was getting real into working out and training and stuff. And Tanner had this weight bench that had been sitting in his garage, and so I was like, "Hey, bro, I'll trade you my drum set for this weight bench." And so by the time me, Dylan, and Tanner were like starting to hang out, he already had his drum set there. So I brought over a guitar and a little amp, and he had some speaker, it was like a party speaker. So we plugged Dylan into that, and I plugged up my guitar and played the drums and just hang around. We would play musical chairs, we'd swap around, do what we do, and eventually we just got a feel for what we're most comfortable at. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't ever a said thing like, "Oh, we're starting a band." You know, it was just like we were just in it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really only became like formal when Noah came into it. Like that's when I felt like it was locked in.
Yeah, because then we would schedule practices. Mm-hmm. But even back then, it wasn't as set in stone as it is now. Just because we're all a little bit busier, we all have jobs and girlfriends and stuff like that. But we still love Heeter. We want to make time for that. It was whenever it was just me, Dylan, and Tanner, and Noah, we would just text in the group chat like, "Hey, what are you guys doing right now?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but now we schedule, you know, we got Mondays and Sundays, stuff like that. So it's just a kind of thing that just grows over time. It's like the commitment grew from the very beginning. And honestly, I feel like my heart has always been in it.
Yeah.
But even I feel like I've dived a little bit deeper, and so has everybody else. I mean, Dylan has really taken initiative. First show.
I've been trying, bro. I've been trying.
Our first show ever, man, was at this place called Slick Slabs in Tyler. And I was so nervous because my dad played music back in the day, and it's like he knows what he's doing. So I got to put on for my dad, you know.
We were so stiff that day, dude.
And so it was the day before, and we had just rented all of our equipment. We gotten like a couple speakers, a sub, microphones, you know, stuff like that. And we set it up in Tanner's garage because we just wanted to sound check, get a feel for what was going on. And so I was like, "All right, everybody be here for sound check at like 1 or 2 p.m. And we waited around, we set up, and long story short, Dylan didn't get there until around 8 or 9 p.m., which is by that time we had told the neighbors like, "Hey, we're gonna be loud tonight, so we're gonna be done by 9 p.m." So Dylan showed up, and I was furious. I was way too angry. I went up to him. I was like, "What the fuck?" And you know,
I drove off.
We got in each other's faces, and he quit the band, and I fucked up my knuckles. I punched the hell out of a tree. I was mad.
Yeah, we were both being stupid.
Yeah.
I drove off. I said, "Good luck finding a new singer."
Yeah. I was like, "Get out of here, bitch!" And Tanner went in the woods and cried for a little while. Poor guy.
Poor guy.
But Dylan came back like 5 minutes later, I think, because
of Deb.
Because of Deb, Tanner's mom. And Dylan came back, and we hugged it out, and I wrapped up my hand, and we were like, "All right, no practice tonight. Let's just see what we can do tomorrow." Mm-hmm. And so yeah, Heeter broke up one time before our first show.
For 5 minutes.
We haven't done that since. And ever since then, Dylan has been on time. He's been a straight arrow.
He's only left once during this interview.
Yeah, but 50% of the time after a venue, I'm gone.
Yeah, take his 2-hour absence, and then he'll show up.
Yeah.
So I guess like What's y'all's like goal with the band? How are y'all planning on expanding y'all's reach and everything?
Just, keep working with it. We have a few shows, like a little mini tour coming up in the span of like a month.
Yeah,
Right.
it's at the end of July, beginning of August. We're going with this band called Page 9. They're good guys. I ran sound for them one time at this show that me and my dad put on, and they pulled a fucking crowd. It was awesome, and they had awesome energy. Dude, you should see their presence, like overall, like they do good at making friends with the audience, like for real.
Okay.
So when we hit those shows with them, like just keep an eye out because they're really
for
good.
sure.
But they're seasoned guys. They've been touring years now. Emo band, and they're cool guys. So I think that'll help us expand a little bit because they're taking us to San Antonio, Abilene, and DFW.
Oh, okay.
But as far as growing our fan base, I feel like a good way to do that is just to release good music.
I feel like this album's gonna be a really good bump up for us.
Yeah. So it's been kind of like stay down till you're up, you know? So right now we're playing shows. We're showing everybody at the shows what we can do. But as far as music online, we don't have much out right now. But I feel like that's going to change once we release. We're working on an 8-track album right now.
We just gotta go to the studio later today.
Finishing it up today. I'm going to go hit vocals. And then after that, we're sending it off to be mixed and mastered.
Where are y'all recording?
In Canton, this place called The Good Shed.
Oh, okay.
Really good dude. Like
Yeah.
he's a really good producer too. His name's Christian. Shout out to him. He's really done good with this album.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy to work with, man. It's been delightful.
Literally.
Like the first time we went in there, it was just like a little consultation, you know, seeing if it was the right fit. And he was like, the first thing he was like, this is you guys' project. You know, you guys take the reins and just tell me what you want to hear.
And he said that he mainly does country or whatever. He doesn't really work with this genre, but he's killing it.
Yeah, he's doing awesome. And it really has been like that. He's great ideas, and he doesn't push them too hard if we don't like them. And we don't really push back that much because he does have really, really good ideas that are very valuable, especially from a guy in a producer seat that's worked with hundreds of bands, you know.
I think I've denied one of his ideas.
Yeah.
One.
Maybe one.
That's it.
Yeah. And he was just like, can y'all play a little lap guitar?
Little steels.
So I'm pretty much out of good questions. So is there anything y'all want to like leave this interview with? What you want the audience to know?
I think the main thing for us is that we don't have like a specific lane that we're sticking in, you know. The thing about us is that we move around a lot, and we like to switch up what we play, and so I feel like having that wide of a music variety, it opens up a lot of people to listen to us. So
100%.
one thing is I just want everybody to be able to listen to our music and like
Exactly.
it.
Our slogan is music for ears.
Yeah, music for ears.
So
Just
we
make it available to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of making it available, what's the name of the album that's going to be coming out?
Cecropia.
Cecropia?
Yep, it's a type of moth, and that's
It's actually a type of tree. The moth is called a Cecropia moth, but I feel like that's a little pretentious to name an album.
Cecropia
After a
moth.
tree.
Yeah, so it's named after a tree that this awesome moth lives in. Me and Vinny came up with the idea because the moth represents like the duality of our music. We have heavy on one side, soft on one side, and it meets in the middle to create this beautiful picture.
Yeah.
So that's just our main thing is blending with the nice tone to appeal to everybody, and that's not the only thing. We don't make music strictly for people to enjoy. We make it for us to enjoy.
100%.
And we have a good time every time we practice and every time we play a show. Our last show was great though. It was a killer show. We played a perfect set, and that was an awesome
It was a
feeling.
good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Well, awesome. So where can people find you?
Here in Tyler, we play every now and then, but usually our website has our show dates, heaterband.com, and our Instagram is heater.band, and we also are very active on there, and we like to interact with our fan base.
100%. And if you want to search up any like covers of our live shows, you can always go on YouTube and search up Heeter Band. you'll find a lot of our, like covers there and stuff.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for sitting down with me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, if y'all want to record an acoustic set like we were talking about, we can insert it now.
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
Why won't you walk this way? Why can't I feel my face? Come my way, I'm in town. Why won't you come around? Why won't you walk this way? Why can't I feel my face? Come my way, I'm in town. Why won't you come around? Thank you for the chances. There's so many times I lied, had so many moments when you weren't satisfied. Thank you for the chances. Thank you for the chances. There's so many times I lied, had so many moments when you weren't satisfied. Thank you for the chances. Why won't you walk this way? Why can't I feel my face? Come my way, I'm in town. Why won't you come around? Oh, yeah. Come around. Thank you for the chances. There's so many times I lied, had so many moments when you weren't satisfied. Thank you for the chances. Oh, thank you for the chances. There's so many times I lied, had so many moments when you weren't satisfied. Thank you for the chances. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the chances. chances. There's so many times that light had so many moments when you weren't satisfied. Thank you for the chances. Oh yeah.
Oh, hi, you actually made it to the end. Not many people do that. I guess you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and like and subscribe. Share it with people if you want to. And just tune in next time because I'm always interviewing different people. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.